Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Gonna just do a what's been spinning video. This is one of those videos where stuff I've been playing over the past week or so, and I just kind of set it to the side and just kind of do a quick video sharing what I've been playing for the past week or two. So yeah, let's just kind of jump right into it. This is actually, I guess, kind of the last one on the list because I was actually playing this last night. And it's been quite some time since I revisited this album here. But this is Loudness. Then this is Lightning Strikes. I mean, it's definitely a fantastic album. It's not the Loudness album I go to the most, but definitely a very solid one. And it was just kind of a nice revisit after a number of years. I haven't spun this album in quite some time. But, really, really good stuff. Kind of that rock, kind of glam, kind of, sometimes they have synths in some of their things. But yeah, really, really cool album. This is their release from 1986. Standout tracks on here. The one that always kind of catches me is the song Who Knows, the very last song on side one, just because it sounds so Rush. Which is kind of interesting, especially even the drumming. Like, as soon as you hear the drumming in the song, you could swear Neil Peart did a guest appearance, blah, blah, blah. So that's definitely a very cool album there. Then went back to kind of some oldie but goodies. Hadn't really dove into this in a while, which, of course, is Joshua Tree by U2. Fantastic, legendary album from 1987. Just, one of those great years, and kind of just in music and pop culture in general. But, so many of their big, well-known hits on here, like Where the Streets Have No Names, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You. Just all kinds of great stuff on this one. So, again, that was kind of a good listen, nice little revisit, because I hadn't spun that in a while. And then I got the urge the other night to pull out some Nelly as well. So this is Nellyville. And this is the 2 LP reissue that came out a couple years ago. Actually, no, it came out last year, I think 2022. So, yeah, this is, again, one of his gigantic hits or releases, I should say, from 2002. Hot in Here, Pimp Juice, Air Force Ones, I mean, on and on. And again, it's kind of one of those fun ones just to kind of go back and revisit after a little while. Just, classic rap / hip-hop album, and really good stuff there. And sometimes you just kind of get in different moods, and the Jets, which is one of my favorite bands when I was a kid back in, I think, junior high or something like that. Just basically kind of a popish R&B, somewhat Latin flavor type of band. And, they had a number of big hits back in the 80s there with Crush on You, Curiosity, and that type of thing. But on this album, their big hit off of this was Make It Real, which is kind of like a ballad type of thing. But yeah, just kind of a fun, dancey, kind of popish, kind of R&B, kind of Latin-y, but really, really fun stuff from my childhood there. And I forget who it was now, but I was watching someone's video, and I totally apologize, I'm forgetting who it was, and they were talking about how amazing side 2 was on this album, and the guitar playing and everything like that. And it made me kind of think, I need to go back and revisit that, because I'm not registering everything that they were saying. And it was this right here, which is a Tattoo You by the Rolling Stones. And of course, the big hits, Start Me Up and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a number of tracks on side 2. I guess it was kind of more of the slower stuff, but there really was kind of some amazing guitar playing, and just one of those, again, one of those ones you just kind of revisit after not listening to it for so long, and that was a fantastic spin. So that was a big thank you to again, I cannot remember whose video it was that was talking about that. The Motels, another classic from the 80s here. And this is their release from actually 79, which I still kind of claim 80s or whatever. But yeah, just kind of some early Motels. Again, another fun release. This is probably not my favorite album by them. Definitely my favorite album cover by them. It's kind of legendary in that regard. But yeah, just kind of a good listen. Again, good revisit. Had to spin a little jazz this week and went to Ornette Coleman. This is Tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Question. And mean, it's Ornette, just great legendary jazz artist. And of course, this is one of his, you know, his most popular albums for sure. And this is one that I almost hate myself for loving so much. And this is Belle Sebastian, and this is The Boy with the Arab Strap. This is their release from 1998. I discovered this album from watching the movie High Infidelity, and or High Fidelity. High Infidelity is REO Speedwagon. Yeah, High Fidelity, and it was the song they used, Seymour Stein, in High Fidelity. Remember when Gary first came to work and he walks in the record shop and he's like, holy shite, what is this? And he takes the tape out and throws it across the room. Well, they were playing the song Seymour Stein by Belle Sebastian, and that made me go look them up, and you know, discovered this album, and by far this has been my favorite Belle Sebastian album. I freaking love this thing, and it's so weird too, because the delivery, the sound of their voice, the type of music and everything else, it's just like the hipster thing that would probably make me want to strangle them if I ever met them in person. But I can't resist it. I love this album. It's just great stuff on it. Stuff like Sleep the Clock Around, Ease Your Feet into the Sea is just a fantastic song. Seymour Stein. I mean, so many great things on this album. So yeah, I actually listen to that one fairly frequently. And then we go from that to Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. I don't have to say anything about this. This is just guitar riff heaven is what I like to refer to this album as. You know, songs like You're in Love and just all kinds of great stuff. But of course, Lay It Down is my absolute favorite Rat song, and in my opinion, I've said this so many times, there's so much evidence in so many videos, the guitar intro to Lay It Down is arguably the best guitar intro of any rock song ever. I mean, it's just, like I always say, it's sleazy, it's tight, it's sexy, it's like, it's everything a guitar riff is supposed to be. It's like, just captures you right off the bat and just like brings you right in just such a groove. Awesome lick. So next, got to go to my girl, the one and only Grace Jones, and this is Slave to the Rhythm. And you know, Grace is just, she's Grace. You know, I'm not sure if I can say much about that. The Specials, another one I haven't kind of revisited. I hadn't visited in some time, I should say, so I did a revisit. This is their release from 1980. Just kind of a cool, I guess, ska slash reggae pop thing or whatever. And of course, my favorite song off of this is Message to Rudy. Really cool stuff. Boy Maurice, Diva Hate here. This is his release from, what, 1988. Again, just, you know, really cool stuff. You know, has Every Day's Like Sunday is definitely my favorite song by him, period. Probably even going into the Smiths stuff, like Every Day is Like Sunday is just beautiful perfection to me. And Maurice is just kind of one of those weird artists too, because he's one of those ones kind of blessed with a natural thing. Because the funny thing about it is, like, his lyrics and everything aren't in my opinion, aren't exactly like amazing, so to speak. It's just when he delivers it, it becomes amazing. Because like he'll just like talk about what he's doing throughout the course of the day. Like, you know, I came downstairs and made my coffee and spilt a little. It was kind of hot, but I got to go to work anyway. And like he'll sing that, and you're just like, oh my God, Maurice is amazing. And it's like he's just talking about what happened in his day, like in regular sentences. You know, so it's just part of what makes him genius, I guess. Mike and the Mechanics, another fantastic one. Again, this is one I actually find myself going to more frequently as well. You know, they had a couple of great albums there from the 80s, and of course, this is the one that had Silent Running and All I Need Is a Miracle. Really cool stuff. I love that song, Silent Running. There's something kind of ghostly about it, and just kind of very 80s, kind of the, I mean, I was going to say kind of, there's a Genesis element to it. It's like, duh. but yeah. Little Joni, you know, I've been spending quite a bit of her stuff over the past week or two, so just kind of had to check that one out. And my boy that whenever I can never really decide exactly what I want to listen to, I'm just like, oh, I just throw something on. Like Jim Croce's just like one of the absolute defaults in that. It's just something always so soothing about hearing his voice and his delivery and his songwriting. It's just absolutely fantastic. And of course, this is the album I Got a Name from 1973, which just, I mean, so everything he did was fantastic. I never get tired of listening to any of his music. Except Little Metal Heart. And this is their release from '85. Again, just kind of had the urge, just grabbed it the other day. Again, not my favorite album by them. I'm more, with the earlier stuff, I'm more of a balls to the wall kind of guy. And actually, it's their later stuff that I actually like the most, with, you know, Blood of Nations and Stalingrad and all of that stuff. I mean, I think they came back so freaking strong with that. But another classic, legendary album there. And I got like, what, 4 more here. And this is an album that if you are an 80s pop fan, 80s new wave fan, you like the synthy stuff and, you know, 80s soundtracks and things of that nature. This Miss America soundtrack, again, is an album I listen to so much. And it's a really, really fantastic piece. And I think the movie and the soundtrack came out in 2015. So it's a more recent album / movie. But it's the music by Dean Wareham and Britta Phillips. And I've always kind of described it as, if you're watching an 80s movie, like if something from between 82 and 87, let's say, and there's a scene where, you know, things are getting a little romantic between 2 young people, and like, you know, they're falling in love, romantic, and there's a song kind of playing in the background. There's no lyrics. It's just kind of like setting the mood. That is what this 90% of this album is, because it's all instrumental, but it just has such a beautiful 80s flow to it. Like I said, if you're into that style and that era of stuff, you have to get this album, because it is freaking awesome. I mean, they do throw like 1 or 2 tracks on here, like No More Lonely Nights by Paul McCartney's on here. But like I said, 90-95% of the album is just that instrumental stuff that they did, and it just takes you back into the 80s in such a beautiful way. So highly recommend that album. And this one here was actually some VCLT last year from the one and only JC, you know, the flip side here in the VC. He sent this over to me, and this is Amigo The Devil, Everything Is Fine. This is actually my first album and first introduction to them, because I just hadn't really checked them out. But yeah, JC sent this over. This is definitely kind of more on the, let's just say kind of the, I guess, the slower, weird side of his music or work, or whatever you want to say. Again, I don't know his entire catalog enough to really dive into, you know, kind of splicing where this fits. But yeah, really good stuff. Had to give that a revisit. And the last 2, you got Love, of course, this classic. You can see that cover from a mile away. This is Forever Changes, which is, what year was it? 67. And yeah, again, this is, you know, definitely the one album that a lot of people tend to flip out about when it comes to Love. For me personally, though, like, this is one of those things where this is an album that when you show it, a good chunk of people are just like, oh my God, legendary. And to me, it's like, it's a good, fun album to listen to. And I go back to it kind of frequently, but I don't quite get the absolute genius and amazingness of the album. It's just, that's a good album. I like listening to it. That's awesome. That's good stuff. You know, so I don't know if that makes sense or not, but still classic. Gotta love Love. And last but not least, Little Grand Funk. This is their release from 1969. And I mean, this album is just classic rock, just coming right at you. You know, I think Grand Funk is one of those bands that kind of gets pushed off to the side a little bit. It's kind of like you see the name and like, yeah, I know Grand Funk. Like, you know, I know Foreigner, like that kind of thing. But then it's like you go and grab one of those old Foreigner albums or go grab one of those Grand Funk albums, and you're just like, whoa, like maybe I kind of forgot a little bit just how, you know, here they were. And this album to me sums it up as much as any. Like this is just a pure, in your face, coming right at you classic rock album right there. I continually trying to upgrade my copies because I just cannot get my hands on an absolute near mint copy of this. And this has been the best I've been able to do so far. You kind of see there's some ring wear there at the top, but it's just like inch by inch until I can actually find one that's absolutely near mint. And it's because they got played all the heck because it's such a fantastic album. So if for some reason you haven't heard this and you are a classic rock fan, especially like that Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, that heavy deep purple, that type of thing, yes, you've got to add this album to the mix. So there you go, VC. That's kind of what I've been spinning over the past week or two. As always, let me know what you guys think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.